Well, this has been a while, huh? That's Pansy. Oh, can't even see it. Um, oh, what's up with this? Anyway, I was attempting to show you the result of all that gnarly construction, which is a massive wall. Maybe if I get over here. Well, you can see where it cuts off. They made this massive wall down here. I got at least 3 cats following me. It's like the good old days. So the problem with not making videos for a while is that I'm like, why do I make them? What am I supposed to say? All this crap. There's Perry. Hey, Pear. Sneezing. See, he's not used to being out and doing this crap either. There's Poppy. Pansy is up there and is not supposed to be coming because she has heart problems. Oh, the cat went immediately into the woods. That's probably where Percy is. I saw him earlier too. All 4 of them were following me. Oh, there's Percy. He's on the ledgy thing. Anyway, they are all there. So, I did return from my trip. It was a very strange trip. It was, for me, an exceptionally social trip. And, I don't know. Also, I've been just absolutely exhausted because, of course, you hit the ground running. I was traveling back home in the middle of the night and actually fairly lucky to get here due to weather issues, which is what I ran into on the trip. And then because of those same weather issues, there were a lot of flight cancellations. But I got home and immediately had to sort of, life sort of hit me squarely. And, yeah. So I'm really glad that I had such a low-key trip because I don't think I'd be functioning if I hadn't caught up some on my sleep. I mean, that's what I did on the trip. But then again, I kind of love going to Boston, like once a year, maybe twice a year, literally to go to a hotel, stay overnight and relax and not have to worry. I mean, even if I do get the calls, well, I'm sorry, I'm in another state. I can't help you right now. I can't be responsible for everybody. Percy's off in the woods, being his little stealthy self. I'm sure you can't see him. You can't see him anyway. What am I? Pansy, it looks like, has gone back the way she's supposed to. That's good. That's making me nervous. So yeah, how about I stay on track, which is try to do the effects of this and try to do. I know I repeat myself. Sorry. But this was the timeline. I was supposed to do a different trip, a more extensive trip, and I canceled it. I canceled it because they're still changing all the rules about COVID and who can go here and there. And, if you've been to this place, then you can't go to another place. And I was really nervous about getting stuck in a country. I mean, it's bad enough to just do it on your own in regular times, but I mean, if you get stuck in quarantine for 2 weeks in a country and have to, pay for a hotel for 2 weeks because you're in quarantine, and then get out of it and find out somehow a way to get back to the United States, that's wrong, not happening. And again, with this little dinky trip I took, I mean, I was gone, it was on 4 days, it was like really 3 nights? I think it was 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4 nights, including the, it was longer than I thought. No wonder I feel like crazy. Because I flew down, stayed at a hotel, and then did my little trip. Again, because I didn't want to be stressed out by, oh my goodness, I'm going to be late and I'm going to miss, no. Apparently I stood out, I guess that truly introverted people are uncommon, to say the least. So, you have to give them your passport. So they knew it was my birthday. I had 2 whole birthday cakes they gave me for free. It's like, holy wow. Because why? They do have rooms on the cruise ships. One is a library where they actually have books of a sort, that you could take out, and another one is a card room, which I never saw anybody in it. And I think they have other rooms too that because I didn't see everything. And my strategy was basically to go from place to place to place to place to place to place, and also back to my room frequently. So I would say like a half an hour to an hour in any given place on this ship. I kept moving and moving and moving, and people were talkative, and I heard all sorts of things, stories from people of all sorts of types. I think I've fulfilled, my sort of social requirements for quite a while. And again, I mean, this is why I'm wondering, obviously I'm introverted, but how introverted? Because I do this trip, and now I'm making videos again. I also slept a lot on this trip, though. Now see, this is what I do. I try to figure out what the heck happened. I don't see any of them. Integrate it, come up with, data points that I can use in the future. Because this was a strange trip. And, first of all, I was so bummed when I had to cancel the first one, which is definitely more traditional for me, which is to go to a new place I've never been and go 20 hours a day, see as much as I can, just throw myself into it and go. I mean, that's what this would have been. Places I'd never been before, and doing things that I'm definitely not that skilled at, to say the least. Not 100% brand new, but pretty much. So that was a plan, and it didn't go to plan at all due to weather. Everything was canceled. So basically, I just stayed on a boat for 4 days with the same 1,000 people and the same, I have no idea, maybe 300 staff. And the thing is, especially the staff are like required to know you, see you. They were really good about not judging. Really good about not judging, to my knowledge. But they were definitely keeping tabs. And yikes. But then the thing is, you go from place to place to place, and I was trying as much as possible to change it up. I really was. And yet I had people that were just like friendly and wanted to collect me, and I really shouldn't use that terminology. I don't think I've ever heard anybody else use that terminology. Like really, I've never heard somebody say that about someone. Like sort of like being friendly and interacting with somebody on more than the most superficial of acquaintance state. In other words, I suppose trying to make friends. And I say, oh, they were collecting me, because it does break my brain to think of it. It's Poppy. You see him? And I think I saw Percy too. Anyway, that's impossible on every level. I'm sorry. It's probably triggering. It's probably annoying. You probably want to say, "Oh, that's not impossible." That somebody wants to get to know you. To me, that's impossible on every level. I had an interaction with someone that was blatant, beyond. I mean, like, I've told people and they're like offended and think it's hilarious. I mean, okay, it was, somebody was hitting on me to the point that I picked it up. And I was like, okay, well, that was a joke, but I mean, it was like, that was like, oh my God. I mean, if I had said, okay, then something would have happened. But I didn't say okay. And I had another person come up to me and say, did you know I was flirting with you before? Actually, no, that one I did not pick up on at all. But I mean, these people were like, what? And I'm like, what is wrong with you? I mean, seriously, what is wrong with you? I think I did a great job of buttoning it when it came to that, because what was going through my head is, hi, I'm old, I'm uninteresting, I'm massively unattractive, I'm hugely overweight, I'm blah, 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 blah. Let me give you the 50, 100 million reasons why it's impossible for you to have said that, to thought that, to try to, that's impossible. Impossible. Ish. Alrighty. It looks like they've done some pruning, maybe. This is the place. It looks smaller. This is the place where the ghost is. No ghost. But I mean, it looks like they haven't. There's Poppy. It looks like they took out some of the bigger trees. The ones, like the trees look like they're further back to me. Very weird. Very weird indeed. And in case you're wondering, oh, again, you can't see now. There's the bump out. This was a driveway, which this house over here has annexed to whatever house was back there that's gone and completely overgrown. Now I gotta get my cat back. I'm just walking back. I'm hoping that didn't sound really braggy. See, this is the line that I'm walking on. Like, that probably sounded really braggy to some people. And to some other people, there's probably like, oh, you're a fucking idiot in every way. And I know that talking about how my brain works and how I think of things and the way I interact and I don't interact, I know is fucking annoying to people. Really annoying. I don't know. Gotta wait for him to come. Hear him? I don't know. I know that's annoying. I'm really sorry. It just does not compute. It's impossible. So it's really hard for me to sort of process this trip because on the one hand, I tolerated all that extremely well for me because normally I would, it's just immediate. I mean, it's a major effort for me not to, tell people how wrong they are about being interested in me in any capacity at all. Like, I went to work expecting for them to go, oh, you're here again. And we got really used to you not being here, so maybe you shouldn't have this job anymore. Dead serious. That's exactly what I thought. And I was so shocked that not one person even joked about it. I mean, I don't know. Now, a lot of that is, of course, protective thing. That is the point of why people get this personality disorder in the first place, is to protect themselves. It's like you can't say something that will hurt my feelings because I've already thought it. So it's like, whatever. Nobody's ever going to have a chance to do that because I've already hurt my own feelings and gotten used to it. There's Poppy. And I really do have this like null set, impossible kind of, again, it is a self-protection thing, because the thing is, if it wasn't impossible, here comes Perry. He's probably going to need me to carry him. Can you see him? No, you can't. I do not understand how the lighting works for this thing. Let's see if I can turn it on. Oh, there, you can see him. If it was possible for me to interact with people and them to be interested in, and there be some sort of, I'm choking on trying to not say the word relationship of any sort, friendship or more or whatever. Oh, right. He's attacking their recycling bin. He probably wants to jump in it and have a sleep, because that's what cats do. They like boxes, etc. See, look at me. As soon as I breach the subject, immediately I'm like, okay, I'm going to abandon this and talk about something absolutely simple, because it can't be true. And whenever I start to think that it could be true, then I drop it. Okay, so let me give you the 50 million reasons why. One, very limited number of people there. Two, everybody was a stranger. They didn't really know, so their stranger sort of radar was down. They just assumed everybody is okie dokie, because they had no background to judge. This is my problem. People judge, and people listen to other people's judgments of me. They have these, people that I've known for 10 years talk to me for more than 5 minutes and are astounded at what they've heard. And they just can't believe it. They're like, how did I not know this about you? I don't know, maybe because you never shut up for 5 minutes straight so that you could hear something that was going on with me. Anyway, but you sure do listen to that gossip, It's really hilarious, actually, getting, say, my relatives together and having them all talk to each other and have them try to sort out, like, what my job is, because they all have their own impression of what it is that I do based on, like, 2 or 3 little facts, and then they make up their own huge story about what I'm doing. Okay, whatever. Yes, it's true. Somebody texted me and said, well, and my answer was, I'm in Miami and I'll be home in time to do that. Just give me a time. Period. That was it. And I didn't elaborate at all. As few details as possible. But anyway, let's see what more. Oh, the drinks were fast and furious. And they were also pretty watered down, but they were alcohol everywhere. And if you wanted to do straight shots of liquor or something like that, or get beer or something like that, you could get pretty damn drunk. A lot of the people were pretty damn drunk. People who were talking to me the most point blank said that they were on mushrooms in addition to the alcohol. If people are altered, then well, as I step on a stick, I hope it's a stick. Maybe I need to get back out into the middle of the... Hear that? It's got to be mechanical. Anyway, yeah, if you're altered, then obviously you can't judge, is this person somebody worthy or not. Again, on and on and on. And this is how it works. And this is how I stay in my little box. I'm really glad that I'm not in therapy right now, because I'm also really glad, sorry, but really glad I'm not having a conversation with anybody who's watching this video, and it's one-sided, and I don't have to explain, like, somebody saying, oh, this is good, this was progress, this was not progress, this was a very limited thing. And that's what I was doing. I was like, this is maybe, I try these videos, even though the last number of them have been so jumbled, that there's nothing like that's a real, like, this is a message, this is a lesson that you can maybe apply in your own life. What I did was I sort of walled off and encapsulated these little bitty, there's Percy. You heard him if you didn't see him. These interactions, it's like I stuck him in a Ziploc bag and zipped it shut, and done. It was not open-ended at all. Can't see him. Maybe I can get the light. You still can't see him. He's very good at camouflaging. Anyway, but yeah, I would be like, okay, I'm going to, and yes, I was drinking too. I was drinking the cocktails. The cocktails very, very watered down. Because I was, I was paying attention. I kept expecting to be sick because I was on a ship and I get seasick, and it was rocking. But it was also moored for 2 days. You know, but everybody was doing that. They were going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And then it was like the same people, but the combinations were constantly different. The places, even though, there weren't that many places on this ship, but the places were different. They were, you had to actively go. Did you see him from you see his eyes. I don't know how he's so good at that. Pear, do you need me to carry you? Or are you good? I don't know, but that's how I did it. Is I just like walled it off, and yeah, Perry needs me to carry him. I stopped that experience and then went on to the next and sort of ignored that the first one ever happened. And even though there were people, it's like they didn't know everything. Like I never actually, somebody said, oh, we saw you. We were going to invite you to eat dinner with us. Never ate food with other people on that ship. Because that would have been a thing. I would have been like, oh my God, I'm going to be judged about what I'm going to order and blah, blah, blah. How do you know you're avoidant? You would rather eat by yourself than eat with somebody else and be judged about what you're eating. This cat. He's very awake and alert and he wants to get going, but he's not walking anymore. So I think it's time. I need to give him a ride. I don't know if you can do that. And again, I'm never ever going to see any of these people again. Ever. So it sort of felt safe for me. And I don't know the other side of it. I don't know the other experience that people have where they need to have somebody close to them in order to handle strangers. For me, that's horrifying. That is 100% judgment of the worst kind. So getting away from people is how I am able to relax the pressure of feeling like I'm being judged all the time. I mean, I'm walking down the street in the middle of the night. I don't know if you've seen the video. There was one where somebody yelled out the window at me that what am I talking? Like, give me a break. It is the middle of winter still. It is still freezing out here. I don't think people have the windows open, but there's a part of me going, okay, when is a cop going to come by, or when is one of these neighbors going to shout out the window at me again? Because I'm not allowed to exist walking down the middle of the street with my cats. And that's constantly going in the back of my head. Well, that somehow was lessened on this trip. And that's why I do these trips. And that's why I usually don't repeat. And if I do repeat, I go to someplace like New York City, which is massive and huge. And the chances of running into the same people, even if I go to the same places, I'm not going to run into the same people. Someone's going to remember me. Here comes a car. Okay, there we go. I got to turn this thing off because I got to get my cat out of the street. And I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.